Call of Duty Mobile Season 10 just dropped and these are going to be the only weapons you'll ever need a loadout for. Hey everyone, Lock and Load here. Quick disclaimer before we begin, we won't rank weapons by numbers, as it doesn't really make sense to compare an SMG to say a sniper, right? It's apples to oranges really, so we'll rank them by categories. Starting off strong with the flex weapon category here, and we'll have the leader of the pack to begin with, the BP-50. Now there's a reason you see this gun in every ranked match, and that's because it kills in 190 milliseconds up close if you manage to hit 2 stomachs or 2 chests or use the 30 round magazine. It also has very fast mobility for an AR, and I mean that kind of time to kill is just unheard of for a flex AR at this kind of fire rate. It also has very easy to control recoil and very good mid-range performance. I mean, what else could you really ask for at this point? Next up, we have a gun that's been meta for who knows how long, the HVK-30. Now this gun can 3-shot up to 18 meters, which might sound unimpressive until you hear it's a time to kill of 180 milliseconds, and you can achieve this with relative ease. It also has very fast mobility, which is expected of a flex weapon. It can 2-shot to the head, and much does not need to be said about why it deserves a spot on this list. The only downside of this weapon really is just the mag size, which is manageable. Next up, we have a weapon that's seen plenty of usage in the codm World Championships, the ODEN, or as I call it, the full auto SKS. Now this gun does have some cons which pretty much boil down to the bullet speed and the recoil. However, once you get past those, it is very rewarding to use. It has pretty alright mobility for what it is, and it can kill in 145 milliseconds as long as you're hitting lower arms or chest shots in the second range, and that definitely makes it deserve a spot on your loadouts. Up next is a weapon that pretty much got banned indirectly from codm Championships, the DRH. Now this gun was introduced in Season 8 and it has been very powerful ever since. With the OTM mag, it can kill up to 24 meters in 210 milliseconds with relative ease. Its mobility also tends to be on the faster side. It has very easy to control recoil, and its reload time is also pretty good, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. Flex weapons aside, we can finally start the aggressive weapons category, and no better place to start than the Fennec. Now you'll ask, hey Lock, what makes this so good? There's so many SMGs in the game, and it's the fact that this has pretty much the best hipfire stat for any SMG, period. It also kills in 216 milliseconds up to 15 meters, which might seem unremarkable until you consider the fact it shoots every 54 milliseconds. It has a straight vertical recoil pattern which is very easy to control and insanely fast mobility. So if you haven't already used it, definitely go check it out. Next up, we have a weapon that pretty much scares all of our viewers, the R9. Now you know, if you miss on more shotguns, you die, right? Because they take a very long time to shoot again. This gun said, nah, I'll do my own thing, and it can actually shoot twice, which might sound unremarkable to you until you consider it can kill up to 19 meters. This is beyond the effective range even of some SMGs, and that makes it a pretty strong shotgun overall, and it's probably one of the greatest weapons to ever clear a hard point with. Next up, we have a Garena staple, the KRM. Now you will ask, hey, why should I use this if the R9 can shoot twice? This weapon must be very punishing, right? It can only shoot once. For starters, the KRM has improved mobility, so you can run around the map like the Flash. It also has better ADS spread and better hipfire. If this is not enough for you, it also has higher damage, which, as long as you're hitting your shots, can be very beneficial when hipfiring, as all pellets might not always hit your enemy. Up next, we have a new addition this season, the USS-9. Now this gun is a mythic, so it'll obviously be good. Now the GKS had a problem. It could never decide which kind of SMG it wanted to be. The USS-9 said it wants to be a close range one, and it does exactly that. It can kill in 200 milliseconds up to 25 meters, which is incredible, but it also has main AR like PSA and very fast mobility, easily making this gun a top 10 pick for you next season. We will also cover it in a full video later on, so stay tuned for that. This marks the end of aggressive weapons, and we'll now start with semi-autos, or well, semi-auto because one gun is just so good it overshadows all the other weapons, the Type 63. Now this is just a direct upgrade to the SKS. It has fixed hit flinch, it has usable mobility, and it kills faster. It also forgives a leg shot, up to 21 meters. This value could change depending on the build you use. It also kills faster at 156 milliseconds, and bullet speed is not much of a problem because it already is killing faster. So this easily makes it the best marksman rifle in the game. Though the iron sights are a bit of a problem, but you can manage. Up next we have our first honorable mention, the Type 19. Now it used to be top 10, but some weapons got added and some got buffed. Looking at you, BP50, so it's no longer top 10, but it's still a pretty good weapon. It has a very good hit flinch at 0.42, it has very good area spread, very good hipfire spread, and one of the easiest recoil patterns in the game. It can also 4-shot for 240 milliseconds, up to 18 meters, and 38 meters if you can hit 2 armed shots. It also has a magazine capacity of 48, which is really good. However, its mobility does tend to be on the slower side. Next up, we have snipers. Don't worry, we have 2 this time. But first, the LW3 Tundra. As expected, it has one of the fastest area times, and it also has one of the lowest hit flinches, very good blank scoping accuracy, so it easily gets a spot on this list. Next up, we have a rather new addition to this list, the MK2. Ever since its ADS time buff, this weapon has become incredible. It can ADS in 257 milliseconds and kill on a lower arm shot up to 55, beyond which you will have to hit stomachs or chest shots. It also has pretty low hit flinch. Now, it's not the greatest at 2.674, but it's usable. Next up, we have 2 honorable mentions. Now, don't worry, these are probably actually the best guns in the game. They are just kind of hard to use and banned from comp play, so we have to include them as honorable mentions. Coming in at first place, it's obviously going to be the CX-9 Burst. Now, this weapon does have its cons, which is the mag size. It only has 12 rounds, and we strongly recommend you use Vulture while playing with this gun. However, aside from the cons, this is the fastest killing meta weapon. It kills in 116 milliseconds, which is faster than even the Odin. It also has the fastest sprint speed of any meta weapon, and it can actually achieve the 116 millisecond time to kill up to 23 meters. Its recoil pattern is incredibly simple, and it also has a very good hipfire stat. The second honorable mention, which is probably known as one of the more toxic guns in ranked right now, the Jak-12. Now, what's special about this gun, you might ask? It's a full auto R9. The only con to this weapon is the fact that it has a small magazine capacity. Aside from that, this gun is incredible. You can kill your enemies at medium range. It has very good ADS spread built the right way, and you can clear entire hills with it. Not much needs to be said about this gun, and now we'll start our passive weapons. Now, this category has become kind of redundant. However, played the right way, it can shift the tides of your match. We'll start off with the KN-44. Ever since the chest multiplier buff, this gun has become kind of insane. A single chest shot allows you to 3-shot kill in a time to kill of 192 milliseconds up to 26 meters, which is insane. And it also has very good hit flinch, very good BSA, making it one of the better passive weapons out there. Although the recoil does tend to be on the slightly worse end, however, it's manageable and you should certainly try this weapon out. Next up, we have a weapon with Vanguard Gunsmith, and if you watch our videos, you'll know it's broken, the MG42. Now, this gun fires every 58 milliseconds, which is the fastest firing LMG. It kills in 232 milliseconds up to 15 meters. Its ADS time is on the faster end of LMGs. It has very good BSA, very good hipfire, one of the easiest recoil patterns in the game, and frankly speaking, this weapon has no hit flinch. So you'll ask, what are the downsides? Well, it has bullet velocity, its spin to fire time is on the slower end, and its reload speed is so slow you'll lose an entire hard point before this gun reloads. If you can manage with these issues, definitely use this. Lock and load, going dark.